The Nigerian political system is bereft of genuine ideologies because largely what we have found in our system recently. Okay, let me take it from the United States of America, that's the mother of all democracies, so that we understand the approach for there.
Okay.
The real test of political ideologies are in the political institutions that you are able to form with those ideologies. What we've experienced in Nigeria recently are people who just have personal interests. Nigerian political ideologies are largely based on personal interests, ethnic interests, religious interests, and basically personal.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another enlightening episode of Vigilant. I am Folashade Adebi. If this is your first time of listening to the podcast, Vigilant is a socio-political podcast that discusses matters arising from politics, societal issues, tech, and a lot more. So, in our last episode, we discussed 2023 election, competency over religion and ethnicity sentiment. And if you haven't listened to it, kindly do so. It's on Anchor, it's on Spotify. So, today we'll be discussing political ideology, the right way to move in Nigeria. And I have with me a guest to discuss the topic. Is Barrister Chisom Franklin. He is a lawyer and a political columnist. He is also an associate of the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, and he's an advocate of Prime Disputes UK and member of Young Mediators Initiative Netherlands. Our guest is also the legal advisor to the former senator representing Abia North in the Senate and also the current PDP senatorial candidate in Abia North, Senator Mao Ohuabunwa. I guess I pronounced that rightly. Welcome to the show, Barrister.
Thank you very much, Folashade. The name is distinguished Senator Mao Ohuabunwa. It's an Igbo name, so I forgive that. That's fine.
Thank you, Barrister.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on your show. It's a pleasure and a delight to be here today to interact with you and then discuss critical political issues in our polity as a nation.
Thank you, Barrister, for joining us. Barrister, I realize you run an NGO called UBE Group. Can you please tell us about the services you offer in the NGO?
Okay, we run an NGO called UBE Group.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an organization founded by myself and a few friends from university. It started out in 2016 in Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, Anambra State. We were a group of friends who felt like we have it a bit easier than the rest others in the society. So we started a monthly contribution where we take out from our monthly allowances and make a contribution, set up funds, and then go to the villages in Anambra close to the school, pick up indigent children, out of school children, pay their fees, and over the years it has grown and metamorphosed into something bigger. So right now, last year we had over 1,000 kids across different states in Nigeria. We have representatives across every zone in the country who helps us spot indigent kids, kids on the street, out of school children. Aside that too, over time, we've had people from Nigerian universities who have outstanding and impressive academic records, first-class graduates, and then you see them struggling to get jobs in Nigeria and all of that. So because we cannot afford a full funded scholarship like the government, what do we do? Yeah, what do? We help them purchase scholarship forms, scholarship exams, openings where they can make attempts to get a scholarship to advance their studies in advanced countries. So over time, we've had 3 people who got scholarships and they've moved to the United Kingdom, and we have 2 people in Canada at the moment. So on the other side too, we pay hospital bills for indigent ones and the poor. So it's just about rendering help and then offering services to humanity in our little capacity while hoping to do better as we grow.
Oh, okay. That's quite commendable, Barrister Chisom. You are really contributing to the national development.
Thank you very much.
So, in today's episode, we'll be discussing political ideology, the right way to move forward in Nigeria. So there have actually been debates on whether the Nigerian political system operates a political ideology, and this issue actually tends to like come up on all Politalks, and we are currently going to discuss this in Vigilant podcast. So first, what is political ideology? Political ideology is like the foundation of policies, and it guides the perspective of people. So you, in other advanced country, when a Democrat get into power and when a Republican get into power, we know what to expect from the politicians. But however, reverse is the case in Nigeria here, as most members are not, most political parties claim to have political ideologies, but they don't follow their political ideology. So, my question to you, Barrister, is in Nigeria, is it that our ideology is driven by personal interest, ethnicity, or religion, or what may be the reason of lack of political ideology in the Nigerian political system?
All right, thank you very much for that. The Nigerian political system is bereft of genuine ideologies because largely what we have found in our system recently. Okay, let me take it from the United States of America, that's the mother of all democracies, so that we understand the approach for there. The real test,
Okay.
the real test of political ideologies are in the political institutions that you are able to form with those ideologies. What we've experienced in Nigeria recently are people who just have personal interests. Nigerian political ideologies are largely based on personal interest, ethnic interest, religious interest, and basically personal. In the in the United States, like we recorded in the last election,
Okay.
there is a strong political ideology in the United States of America, and there's a strong institution. However, in the last election, we had a man whose personal inclinations clashed with the political ideologies in the United States. You saw what happened in the last election. The former president, President Trump, tried via every possible means to frustrate the efforts of the election, and then Trump put the Biden election that brought him to power, and all of that failed, including invasion of the Congress that had not happened since 1814 up to this moment.
Okay.
Juxtaposing this to Nigeria, if this was happening in Nigeria, Trump would have gotten away with that, because in Nigeria here, you have a system where the judiciary is not independent. Largely, the decisions of the judiciary has been mostly dependent on what the party in power tells them, what the government in power has to offer, and all of that. You see the agencies like the Economic Financial Crimes Commission, they would never almost go after a person who has an affiliation with the government in power.
It's more like witch hunting.
Yeah, it's more like witch hunting. That's what they do. It's as if the government is using them as a tool to pursue their personal interests. So this is what we've seen in the Nigerian palace. So largely, our political ideologies are solely dependent on ethnic differences and religious differences, as opposed to the political ideologies in advanced democracies like America and the rest of them. But that notwithstanding, Nigerians will make the excuse that we are still a growing democracy, and the president has promised us that going forward with this election and the ones to come with the electoral reforms, that we would have better political institutions, which through them, political ideologies can see the light of the day. Genuine political ideologies are not ones largely based on personal interest. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Barrister, for that detailed explanation. So, talking about the political ideology, still on that, people do say, let's check the foundation of something. So, after Nigerian gained independence, like post-independence, we could see that the Nigerian political space is actually dominated by three political groups, and we could see Northern People Congress and the National Council of Nigeria was dominated by the Northerners and the people of the Muslim faith, and it was later changed to National Convention of the Nigerian Citizens, which is NCNC. The NCNC was now later dominated by the Igbos and Christian faith. Then we had the AG, which was dominated by Yorubas. So can we say this kind of like gave the foundation to Nigerian political ideology to be based on to be based on ethnicity and religion? Because we can actually see some of these played in these the Fourth Republic political parties.
All right. Well, I would say the origin of ethnic politics and ethnic government in Nigeria is from the Richard Constitution of 1946, when the Constitution was designed to give a budgetary regionalization of the country, where people from here get this, people from here get this, and people from here get the other. And then it's also vetted from the manner of which states have been created. There are more states in particular regions than other regions have. And then it defeats the purpose of ethnicity and ethnic laws, because how do you create states? It's an opera from a group of people who feel like, okay, we are being marginalized by these people, we need to have our own states and all of that. So in most cases, these demands for creation of more states have been acceded more to in the north than we have in the south and other parts of the country. But then, like you said, we'll take it back to the SCNC, the AG, and the NPC days. So post-independence, the NPC, that's the Northern People's Congress, and the NCNC metamorphosed into one party, and then they wanted to merge, build the country, but AG, at the time led by Obafemi Awolowo, preferred to be on the part of the opposition, and they started being an opposition, fighting the government in power, and event led to events, and then the Civil War is a product of ethnic politics. The people in the southeast, led by the eastern region, led by Odumegwu Ojukwu, said the people in this zone are being marginalized, and the resources accorded to these other people are not due to us. And then, woke up one morning and then formed the government, and Yakubu Gowon at the time could not allow that to go on, and then it led to the Biafra War that lasted for years until date. The ethnic politics that caused the problems we faced in the past are still very, very much alive. Nigeria has never been more divided than it is now. What are the causes of this? Look at the security apparatus of the nation. All the security outfits are headed by people from a particular zone of the country, which is, to say it's unfair is to say the least. And then that's what has given rise to the IPOB of today. It has never been a terrorist organization like the government was in a hurry to proscribe it, even before the bandits that were ravaging the country from time immemorial. They only had peaceful protests, and then the next morning they were proscribed as a terrorist organization, and then it has led to a series of insecurities in the east. Before now, insecurity was mostly in the north, but now the marginalization of the people from this side of the country. During the previous administration, before this one came on board, the people in the east felt like they were marginalized. They've always felt like that since the Biafran War. But because of the inclusive governance during the Obasanjo regime, the people from the southeast had several Senate presidents. During the Jonathan regime, they had a secretary to the government of the federation. They felt included. They had different positions in government, as opposed to this government, who has felt that the people from the southeast do not deserve all the positions in the security apparatus, from the president to the vice to the Senate president, even down to the deputy speaker of the House of Representatives, which you can consider an inconsequential position. Still, nobody from this region. You can't beat a child and ask a child not to cry. So that's the foundation and the history of what we have to do. And if it's not addressed timely enough, it will degenerate to full-blown crisis. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Barrister Chisom. So are you saying inclusiveness should be the order of the day to solve the idea of politicking? Like the way...
Yes. Inclusiveness is paramount. However, it's not limited to inclusiveness. It's inclusiveness of people who are competent. It's not just... anybody can wake up any day and say, okay, we are marginalized, and then you say, okay, you do this. No. Every region has competent hands. You cannot say that all the people you need to run a country of diverse tribal differences and diverse religions are from a particular zone. It feels like telling the other zone that, you are second-class citizens here. And imagine the feeling of being a second-class citizen in your own country. That's what we battle when we travel to different countries and all of that.
Yes,
And then
yes.
at home, yeah, you still have to do with that. So I mean, when the mind feels hot and feels abused, you can't push a man to the wall and expect him not to fight back. So yeah, that's the practical solution. Inclusiveness is one of the ways to abridge it.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Barrister. So, still on politicking. So, we've actually seen politicians cross carpet at will. So, does that mean that these political parties, they do not have clear cut um they do not have clear cut instructions on their ideology, and they don't have clear cut instructions on what to expect from intending and old members?
All right, I'll be very sincere to you. Defection in Nigerian, or rather, firstly, Nigerian political party ideologies, they only exist on paper. They are
Okay.
not realistic. We've had politicians who are here today singing the mantra of this party, and then tomorrow they move this way. Cross-carpeting in Nigerian politics is solely dependent on their personal interests.
Okay.
Yeah, because the political party is the vehicle that conveys you to the office, and then what you do with the office at the end of the day is your personal decision. So if it looks like this party is frustrating their attempts and efforts to clinch power, and then the other party is giving them a clear-cut negotiation, and then it says, "Okay, come here." And I mean, like we have seen in recent times, where we had people who belong to different parties who are facing corruption charges, and as soon as they move to the party in power, those charges are dropped and all of that. So we see these things every day. Cross-carpeting and defection in Nigerian political space is mainly on personal interest basis. That's why you see politicians like, when you have people like P2B, who is like the wave of the moment, who people would consider as the game changer, somebody who is coming to make a difference and not a product of the old trajectory that we've recorded in the past.
Okay.
In his team, he still has people that were denied opportunities in other parties, and then that's how they landed to Labour Party and joining him. So it's more like today they are singing, "This is the change you want, this is the change you want," but these people at different times in this same election try to clinch powers in those same parties they are speaking about.
They've talked about, yes, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So they've tried, and then when it looks impossible, because maybe somebody with a higher bargaining power, defeated them to it, and then today they are here, and then they are singing a new song, and politicians are full of deceit. They are attempting to still clinch power at the end of the day. So you have, look at the three political elephants we have in this coming election. There are a lot of them, but largely we have Asiwaju from APC, Atiku from PDP, and Peter Obi. Peter Obi has been in Abia. From Abia, he has been to PDP. From PDP today, he's in Labour Party. Asiwaju has been in AD. From AD, he went to ACN. From AC to ACN, from ACN to APC. Atiku has been in PDP, from PDP to AC to APC. He lost the ticket, and then back to PDP. So all of them are just after their personal interest. So I don't think it has more or less to do with the political ideology of the party. No, you see different people go into different parties and do different things. So it's mainly their personal interest, not the party's ideology.
Okay, thank you, Barrister. So this your answer will drive me to my next question. You made mention of politicians changing and cross carpeting due to personal interest, but at the same time we can also see that these politicians too have their ideology. So I'm going to focus on the three political party that are currently making the trend in Nigeria. I'll focus on APC, PDP, and Labour Party. So the APC ideology is actually federalism, progressivism, social liberalism, and social democracy. And their political position is actually center left. Then the PDP is more of social conservatism and economic liberalism, and their political position is actually center right. So Labour Party is more of the social democracy. And looking at the people, let's take Lagos State for APC. The current governor of Lagos State seems like his approach to government seems more like a capitalist approach, and the party is socialist. And for the Oyo State, his approach seems like a capitalist too, and the party is the ideology is quite different. And let's take Peter Obi for the Labour Party. He also seems like a capitalist, and the political party is social democracy. So, what is actually your thought on this? Like, it seems their ideology and the party they are, it's quite different. What is your take on this?
All right, so largely the personality and approach to governance of every candidate may vary from the political ideology of the party they come under. Regardless, there's no political party that comes with an ideology that intentionally causes harm to the people. Every political party ideology revolves around social engineering, providing amenities, protection of life and properties, and all of that. But political ideologies of political parties do not nip the candidates or the political appointees under that party to acting in line with that, provided the leader and then the member of that party has a background from where he's coming from. You made Oyo State, for example. Seyi Makinde is an astute businessman who has been in business all his life. So his approach to governance is obviously going to be capitalist inclined because that's the background he has. And of course, the people of Oyo State are largely happy now. I mean, his election is going to be one of the easiest in the next election because he's delivered on his promise. Fast forward to Lagos State, I cannot exactly say the political approach of the governor in Lagos State because I've not experienced him take landmark decisions and improvements in Lagos. I've been in Lagos in the last 6 years, from the period of Ambode up till now. So the current guy, it looks like sorry to say, the APC presidential candidate is the governor in Lagos State, and even up till date, members of his political parties are still telling you that Asiwaju is going to replicate what he did and what he's doing in Lagos, and they're trying to give the Lagos experience to the rest of the country. And then you wonder, this is a man who left power in 2007. So how are they still campaigning that, okay, he runs Lagos and Lagos is functioning? And I mean, they speak little or nothing about the governor in power. So I can't say he has a capitalist approach, or I don't think he's that person because he's not distinguished in his field and maybe carved a niche for himself. And also, if you check his background before governance, he was not notable for running any business. So I don't think for that. Then Peter Obi, I was in Anambra while Peter Obi was governor, so I experienced his approach to governance firsthand. Obi is a businessman who, of course, would use a capitalist approach to governance, and regardless of what the Labour Party stands for, at the end of the day, what people seek from political candidates and appointees delivering dividends of democracy to the people. Did Obi deliver in Anambra? Yes. Is Seyi delivering in Oyo? Yes. Assuming we want to give it to Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, is he delivering in Lagos State? If we say yes, if our answer is yes, it does not matter what the political ideology of the political party that produces these candidates are. At the end of the day.
So are you saying we should push aside the political ideology
of the
and
political
we should
parties?
focus
Yes.
on the person?
Of the political parties, yes. Because, okay, take for example a party like APC, whose mantra before coming to power was coming to fight corruption.
Okay.
We've never been indebted as we are currently. We've never recorded oil theft as we've recorded currently. EFCC had more political cases going on now more than ever. So corruption has recorded an all-time high. When the party who promised to fight corruption down to zero is in power. So I mean, come on. So you cannot say, okay, because this party says this, no, that time has, we're no longer in that line of conversation now. So we're going to ignore what the party says, what the political ideology of that political party is, and concentrate on the candidates for the elections going forward. This is one of the ways to get it right.
Okay, thank you, Barrister Chisom. So, although you said we should concentrate on the personal, the person, the individual itself, and not the political party, but do you actually think solving the issue of political ideology will actually move the country forward? And how best do you think this can be done?
Well, to find solutions to problems, the first question is, what is the cause of, what is the root of the problem? Yeah, where is the division coming from? So you cannot prosper when you have a divided house. Like I said earlier, if you take for instance, sorry, if you live in a family where largely dependent on because of individual differences in the family, and the mother feels this should be done this way, the father feels this should be done this way, and somehow they fail to meet an agreement and they continue disagreeing, it will be difficult to record growth in that kind of space. So, introducing it to the Nigerian political balance, the differences in our ethnic religion, in our ethnic politics is the problem that we are facing today. Because if, by the assumption of this government in 2015, the current government that we have, because we're going to take them from 2015 when they came to power, all of what they've promised us, they failed completely in all of them. Sorry, give me a minute.
Oh, okay, no problem.
All right, thank you. I'm with you now. So,
okay.
So yeah, like I was saying.
Okay, sorry, I can hear you.
Yeah, bring me back on the question. I lost you for a second. Sorry.
Okay, I said on the political issue, you made mention of personal interest.
Yes. Ignoring candidates and focusing on candidates and ignoring the political ideologies.
Do you think solving the issue of political ideology in Nigeria will move the country forward? And also, how best can this be done?
Okay, I was coming to that before I lost network. Identifying the issues where the problems came from, which we mentioned at the earlier part of this discussion, our differences, and these differences already exist. You can't take them away. Part of solving a problem is not pushing the problem away. The problem exists. You only have to provide a solution. So you work on the solution and not the problem. So people are going to be of Muslim religion. People are going to be Christians. People are going to come from different parts. Before being Nigerians, they are Igbos first, they are Yorubas first, and they are from the north before being Nigerians. So these differences already exist. The solutions to making this work is to find a way to marry these differences. Even in interpersonal relationship between humans, everybody has differences. Some are introverts, some are extroverts. But we have to find a way to manage our differences as a people. You cannot have a particular section of the country who are crying marginalization, and then your government comes to power, and then you continue the marginalization. Take for instance, people from the southeast, they were already crying marginalization when they had appointees in critical positions and security apparatus of the nation, and they still cried marginalization. Imagine a government coming on board and then clearing out the few people they had, put their own people, and then you still send soldiers and military troops to those regions to go and fight the insecurity. And they are not causing insecurity, but the government alleges that they are, because they are only crying for inclusion. So an all-inclusive government marrying our differences is a practical solution and approach to solving all of that.
Okay, thank you, Barrister Chisom, for that explanation. That will be all on today's episode. Thank you so much, Barrister Chisom, for being with me on the show. Any last thoughts, Barrister?
Okay, my last contribution would be, as we head to the 2023 elections, it would be very important that Nigerians look beyond political ideologies and concentrate on the personal track records of the candidates that are coming to the polls. What have they done? Nigerians should ignore candidates that are speaking through proxies. Just last week when we had the MBA conference. We were privileged to hear directly from the Labour Party candidate, from the PDP candidate, and then we had a proxy for the APC candidate. And then so far, regardless of the fact that it's not officially campaign season yet, as INEC restrictions are still on, we've almost never heard from the APC candidate on what he plans to do as a candidate. So Nigerians should pay attention and not listen to proxies and what somebody on the internet, on Twitter, is saying. Nigerians should pay attention to what the candidate himself has to offer. What has he done? What are their track records? What are their trajectories? When we gave this guy power before, how did he use it? So yeah, if we focus on that, I mean, it will bring us a long way and not listening to political parties, voting along ethnic lines and along religious lines. No, that won't help us. That's why most times, regardless of the fact that Nigerians cry marginalization when, Christians rather, cry that the APC candidates, they have a Muslim. I mean, I'm a Christian, but I care less about that. If both candidates have an incredible track record and they are both Muslims, we are in a place as a nation where we need somebody to cause a radical change for us now. So regardless of religion, regardless of ethnic differences, whoever can get the job done, I mean, that's the best person to vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barrister Chisom, for that. That will be all, listeners, on Vigilance Podcast. You can join us on all other social political issues by downloading the Veegil app on Google Play Store and listen to all our previous episodes on Vigilance. Thank you, Barrister Chisom, for being with me on the show.
Thank you very much, Falashade. I look forward to speaking with you again.
Until next time, bye.
Nigerian that is affected by policies regulated in the country, and I want to speak my truth and share my opinion on social political issues. Then comes Veegil, a social political platform that connects me with like minds. Not only that, I can easily fact check information with a unique feature called Verilog. Join me on the platform by signing up on Veegil.com or download the app on Google Play Store.
Do you want to be politically oriented? Do you want a platform where you get updated with social political issues? Then Vigilance is the right place for you. Join Falashade Adebi every Fridays 4 p.m. WAT to discuss socio-political